Hello, it's Marilyn Devonish here. I'm here with the fabulous Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hello, Marilyn. Hello, everybody.
I'm just so looking forward to this one. And we're talking to you today about a new program protocol that we're putting together, the DHR protocol. So, how to deprogram, heal, and recover from narcissistic abuse, trauma, and we're going to call it SA. Now, if you have been frequenting the streets of YouTube, you know what SA and SRA stands for. And that's another thing that we're going to be specializing in. So, I'm just going to give you, because we're doing a two-pronged approach. I think of it like the yin and the yang, and I've never seen this offered anywhere before. It's a very unique approach. So I am coming at it from the mindset side of things, and Kate is coming at it from the demonic attachment side. So from my perspective, one of the things that we're doing, and as someone who was abused myself from the age of 7 to 17, one of the biggest pieces was the mindset, the trauma, the guilt, the shame, and the limiting beliefs. So during this particular program, I'm going to be working with people to look at, okay, what are the emotions that you're carrying? The anger, frustration, guilt, shame, all of the frustration, all of those things. What are the limiting beliefs that have been embedded into your mind and brain and psyche? Things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not capable enough, I'm worthless. Because when you're running those programs, you see the world in a completely different way. So my role will be to help you release, resolve, remove the old emotional baggage, so you go out into the world free to live your life, be, do, have the things that you want to do without all of the old emotional stigma. And Kate comes at it from a very unique perspective as well, in terms of the attachment. So Kate, do you want to say a bit about, from your perspective, why you're taking this approach and the way that this shows up with the people that you work with who are suffering from these things?
You bet. One of the biggest helps for me when I was healing from my own SRA abuse was addressing the demons, the demonic attachments, the other attachments that I had going on energetically. So I'm looking at healing from an energetic perspective. I'm a trained professional energy healer. I'm looking at how is it affecting the body, how's it affecting the mind, how's it affecting the emotions. There's always an attachment with every narcissist. They have their own demonic attachment, at least one, and they will impart a demonic attachment to another, to the person who is their main person, let's say, or to their family sometimes. That being becomes like a feeder being, feeding off of the goodness and the energy of the other person with the intent of breaking their will and breaking them down. Okay. So a lot of people will come to me and say, Kate, I'm absolutely exhausted, chronic fatigue. I can't get out of bed, that kind of thing. I think I might have something attached to me. Okay. And we'll take a look and remove that. But I'm just telling you right now, if you're dealing with any sort of narcissism, there'll be attachments to you. That's how they like it. If you're dealing with trauma of any kind, SA, SRA, chronic trauma, there will be attachments and there will be these big uglies as well. I say big uglies, there'll be these dark attachments too. So my role in our protocol is clean that up first so that you can feel your freedom. You can feel who you are. Then Marilyn will come in and Marilyn will say, now who am I? Let's decide where I want to go and what I want to do with my life. And then let's look at anything else that we can, any other, I'm going to say like roots that we need to get out with mindset and that kind of thing. So it's a really unique approach, Marilyn. I wish that it was an approach that was available to me when I was healing.
Oh, absolutely. I spent the first 32 years. I mean, I contemplated suicide in September 2000 because the weight of it. Now, I would have said it was just about the catalyst event that had happened in that moment. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was all of the other emotional baggage that I've been carrying since childhood. Now, in my mind, I'd said I'd put it to one side. I put a lid on it. I was over it. I was moving on, but actually, it hadn't gone anywhere. It was just festering inside and really starting to seep out in all sorts of very unpleasant ways. But because this wasn't the language that I was even used to speaking about, wouldn't have been talking about limiting beliefs. I didn't even realize it was there. All I knew was that there was this feeling inside of self-loathing and all the guilt and the shame around what had happened to me in childhood. And quite frankly, I didn't even know that it was possible to resolve those things, because I'm like, well, it's happened. I can't change what's happened to me. And therefore, it has shaped my identity, and that's who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. So it was an absolute blessing, number one, to realize it was possible to resolve it. And number two, to be introduced to modalities that allowed me to resolve it within days, and then taught me how to work with clients within one day. And when I used to say to people, I do 1 day breakthrough sessions where we release old anger, sadness, fear, guilt, limited beliefs, negative emotions. We look at your values and what's important to you in life, and then we clear your timeline, and then we reprogram. And all people thought I was crazy. I've been doing the 1 day breakthrough sessions now for the last 25 years for people who are watching this in real time. And that was a revelation, because I had kind of got it into my head from just what I knew of the world, that even if I did want to work on this, once I knew it was possible, that it would probably take me years and decades or a lifetime of angst and struggle to resolve those things. And when I realized you could do it in a day, I was like, okay, shut the front door. Where do I sign up? I'm in. So, Kate, do you want to say a bit about, should we talk a bit about the format that we're using? Because we're combining a good 45 years worth of experience between us.
Yeah.
So I think we'll say a bit about, okay, we told you kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be doing with regards to this particular program?
What I'm going to do is individually have a one-on-one session with each person that signs up. I'm going to do a visual scan and see what I see going on with as far as energy attachments. Then what I'm going to do is, prior to the workshop, I'm going to remove, I say, the biggest offender, which is usually there's one main attachment, that's the offender, and then there'll be other things underneath. Sometimes removing the main offender takes a few days, and I say from an energetic perspective, because the body and the energy body needs to kind of recover and heal. So I usually do the first offender first, and then I come back and I do the rest of the clearings and then restore the energy body. That's what I'm going to do prior to our workshop. I like to have 2 weeks period of time to do that, and then I'll do my part, and then you'll do yours, Marilyn.
Absolutely. And just to be clear, Kate, you're going to do a one-to-one with Kate, and then the clearing work happens. You don't even need to be there. And I love the fact that, Kate, you said you do it while people are sleeping, so that they're not getting in the way, and it all just, I love it. It just happens magically. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then once Kate has done that first clearing, I'm also going to do a one-to-one with those of you who sign up to take part. And if you do want further information, if you want to go and have a look, the short link is bit.ly/deprogram-heal-recover. You can also find the link on Kate's new website. It's a fabulous website, katesterling.com, and Sterling with an E. And go to the part about training, so you can sign up from both those routes. What I'm going to be doing once Kate has removed those kind of demonic attachments and entities, I'm then going to take you through the first portion of the breakthrough session, where we look at, okay, what is going on? What's happening with regards to your mindset? What is happening with your brain, your neurology, the way that things have been programmed, and what can we do to change that and resolve that and release that? And I use a number of different modalities. So I was trained, well, I'm trained in about 20 different modalities, but for this, we'll mainly be using elements of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, timeline therapy, Hawaiian Huna, because those have been the powerhouse in terms of doing the 1 day breakthrough session. So I'm going to bring in all of those elements to help you identify what those things are, resolve them, because most people can tell you chapter and verse what's wrong and what's going on. That doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It can just drive you actually deeper into a hole. So we're saying what's going on, and most importantly, what are we going to do to resolve it, clear it once and for all. And then once we've done those individual sessions prior to the workshop, we then come together and we do a group workshop. So Kate, do you want to say a little bit about what you're going to do on the group event, which is happening? Well, if you're watching this in real time, it's happening in 2 months from now. But if you're not, you can contact myself or Kate and see when the next one is. But Kate, what are you going to be doing at the group workshop, the online workshop that we're doing as part of this as well?
I'm going to be doing a complete restoration of the energy body, the chakras, and the 12 layers. I work with a 12-layer system. So there's 7 chakras in the body, 5 off, of the body. I'm going to take the participants through a visualization in which they'll restore their body. Let me say, we'll talk about all the points that are relevant to us being human beings, such as, let's say, our divine will, our divine blueprint. We'll reattach all those, make sure that they're running smoothly. I'll show you how to do that, show you how to reconnect yourself. You'll go home with a recording as well so that you can do it in the future. And then we'll also restore your guidance. Every one of us has an angel. We have more than one, but everyone has a main one, and we'll get in contact with that one and reintroduce ourselves to that, to who is guiding us and who's protecting us. And I say an angel, but we are also very well protected from the earth, by whatever name you want to call her, and the divine. And then we have at least one other angel. We actually in reality have a group. In reality, have a group with us. And so we'll be introduced to who is that group.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And also from my perspective on the workshop, having done that sort of pre-clearing work, we then clear the way for doing the group guided processes. So we're going to do one of my favorites. It's something called Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness process. It's beyond the what I call the social media words. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, which are great. However, the version that I learned when I went out to Hawaii to study Huna is the bells and whistles version, with the stage and the Arca connections and working with the guides and the swords of light and all of that. So we're going to use that to cut all of those old links and ties and connections. Is a really powerful self-forgiveness piece as well, because oftentimes survivors of trauma, abuse, etc., and narcissistic abuse, people often blame themselves. Well, how did I get into this? Why did I let this happen? Why didn't I, do something sooner? It was my fault, all of those things. So the self-forgiveness process is really key. We're also going to look at what is important to you in your life, and how do you reconnect with that? How do you reintegrate and also reintroduce yourself to yourself? Because one of the things I often find is that it's not that people are broken, devoid of all the things that they require. It's just they've been disconnected. It's as though someone has come in and overridden that with what they want you to do and their version of control. And what we want to do is change that and resolve that. So we'll do those processes. We're also going to do a guided piece showing you how you can actually now start to recreate and you reprogram your future the way that you want it, not what someone else is controlling you and telling you what to do. And Kate, one of the things I think will be really interesting just to touch on as well is, from your perspective, when people are coming to see you, what sort of things bring them to you? What is it that would even cause them to think they might have a demonic attachment, an entity, a curse, a grudge, something going on? And also, if you maybe could share an example of a before and after for a client scenario, perhaps.
Okay. Many people will say, I've tried everything, but I still feel like I'm having bad luck, or I'm being watched, or I'm exhausted all the time. Like I can't get on top of my life. I'm disconnected from myself. And I'm doing everything I can. That's probably number one, are those kind of words that they use. Marilyn, what else did you ask me? Because in my mind, I want to talk about karma a minute. People
Please
will
go
say
ahead.
to me, I feel like maybe there's some karma or something, like I have bad karma and I'm working through something. And they say that a lot related to living with a narcissist or being married to a narcissist or whatever. When I look at the situation, I've never once seen it be an act of karma. Like this is something like almost like I'm taking this in an experience thing because I did this to somebody else in a past life or something. No, I never see that. What I see is it's the narcissist's free will, and they're imposing themselves on the person that's coming to see me. So I never see karma. I always see it's the free will of the other. There's one other thing I wanted to state. That in and of itself is really powerful. But that's a narcissist trick too, to make you think it's your fault, little by little by little. Being with a narcissist, I call it death by 1,000 cuts. Every single day they're doing something. They're doing something to make you doubt yourself, to take you down. They've got a demon that's sucking off of you, literally your energy, so that they're they're trying to beat down your willpower. Plus there's entities, attachments and stuff that they're bringing to the picture to put on you. It's really crazy making. So what I see like before and after is I'll see somebody that comes in, they'll have a chronic illness. They'll say, we don't know what it is. It's a mystery. It's some autoimmune thing. I can't get on top of it. Nobody can figure it out. I try everything and nothing seems to work, but I'm also mentally, I can't focus. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like myself. When we remove those, the attachments and the whatever, it's night and day difference. They're coming to me and they're crying like, oh my gosh, I can feel myself again. I didn't realize how disconnected I was for such a long period of time because it seemed like it happened slowly over time. And then they'll say, I'm so excited. A lot of them are like journaling again and figuring out what do I want to do? Because now here I am, you know, I feel like I'm starting over, but it's in the best way. I can finally feel joy again and I feel connected to the things I used to be excited about before this person came into my life or before the trauma came in. It's really beautiful because I see them asking those questions. Now, what do I do? What I love about our program is you're going to help them answer that. Connecting to who they are, connecting to their authentic self. What are they naturally drawn to? And helping them to be able to move forward with the life that they really came here to live. Did I answer all the questions?
You absolutely did. You
okay,
absolutely
right.
did. That's amazing. And I think from my perspective, one of the things that people oftentimes, again, they'll say they've tried everything, you know, affirmations, mantras, journaling, all sorts of things and different approaches. But it's almost as like it's the boomerang effect in terms of what's going on in their mind, what's going on in their brain, because even sometimes years or decades after the fact, where they have gotten away from the traumatic or abusive situation, or they've left the narcissistic situation. I say situation because sometimes, you know, people often think of relationships, but you can have narcissistic parents, siblings, a boss, etc. It's not just about relationships. However, people still carry that and then replay the memories of that. So years and decades after the fact, people are still impacted by it as though it's actually happening in the moment because they're replaying all of that in their mind and their brain. So one of the most common things I hear is, it doesn't matter what I try to do, nothing ever works. All of this stuff comes back, or they notice it as self-sabotage, where they go to do something and then that voice creeps in. So I remember when I first did my training, where I was kind of dragged in backwards. I always say by accident, but I believe in divine timing and synchronicity, where something lands in front of you in the right place at the right time with the right people supporting you. And I'm sitting in the room, having worked on the anger, the sadness, the fear, the guilt, the anxiety, the shame, all the rest of it, the limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not capable enough. And because I was studying to be a chartered accountant, and suddenly I hear this voice going, I'd love to be on stage. I'd love to be a coach. I'd love to be a therapist. I'd love to do what the people in this room the facilitators in this room are doing. Now, normally, the other voice would have immediately come in and said, who are you to do that? And it did try to come in. It's like, who are you to do that? And I remember it as though it was yesterday, and I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. I literally just got goosebumps again, even though we talked about it earlier today. My empowered voice came in and said, who are you not to? And there was just a moment of stillness and silence and power. And I couldn't answer that question. Who am I not to? The only answer was, get out there and do it. So I went back home. I said to everyone, I know I've been studying to be a chartered accountant for the last couple of years. I had a business studies degree, a postgraduate marketing diploma. So I was on the very, you know, academic business track. So when I went home and said, I'm giving all of that up to become a hypnotherapist instead, people thought I'd lost my damn mind. But I just knew this is what I feel I was born to do, because in my brain, I was like, imagine working with people who actually want to change. They have gotten to a point in their life where they're saying, no more. This is it. I have had enough of carrying this emotional baggage, as I call it. It's like a big rucksack on your back that you just drag from place to place, job to job, situation to situation, marriage to marriage, relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship. It's everywhere. And people are just saying, I've had enough. I want to release this now. I am ready. And that is the point where I come in and say, let's go, and let's not drag it out. Let's not make it any longer or harder than it needs to be. And for me, it's not just about the speed, although it's great, because who wants to be spending decades working, and you've already been through it your whole life. It's not about the speed, it's also about the fact we're making lasting change, because when you work with your mind and your brain and the beliefs in this way, it is like reprogramming a computer. You reprogram the mind, the brain, the neurology to work with you and for you rather than against you. So you are now on your own side. And from there, everything basically takes off. It is incredible. And this is one of my old leaflets I designed in 2001. And I just want to read you, because sometimes one of the conversations that Kate and I were having as well is about how quickly this stuff can work. Because when we say to people, yeah, I can change your life in one day. So 8 to 10 hours, we start at 10 in the morning, we work through the day, we have a couple of breaks, you go out at the end, have a nice life. That's the end of it. You don't need to be coming back year in, year out, week in, week out, month in, month out. That's not the way I work. And I thought, let me dig up one of my old leaflets. So I'm just going to read you a couple of the testimonials. So someone said, this session left me free to do whatever I choose without carrying all of the negative, unwanted emotions. Again, wow, what a fantastic experience, which is now changing how I view my life and everyone in it. The breakthrough session has given me the precise results I wanted. I admit that I was doubtful that it would work, but it has. I couldn't ask for more. Someone else said, I didn't quite know what you were doing or what you did during the breakthrough session, but I know now that it is over 2 weeks since my session, and I can now hardly remember that I had a problem. That is very common. It just doesn't occur to me to carry out the same patterns of self-destructive behavior that I have done for years. And someone else said, I really think there was something about you as a person, Marilyn, your particular personality, that helped the process work beyond the impact of the process itself. And someone else says, extensive counseling, the support of friends, and my own efforts have more or less got me through, but nothing has ever made me take control of myself. And this final one, I feel lighter, calmer, more balanced than I used to. And I realize, brackets, at last, that I do have a choice over how I behave. So I'm just kind of reading the back of the leaflet there. And this for me, and some of these were essay. I know there's bulimia and anorexia in here as well. So these are things that we consider to be very serious, and it's going to be deep, it's going to be hard. We actually have a lot of fun during the sessions. And so in terms of the timing thing, my experience was when people are ready, because we're not speaking to everyone. This is not for everyone, but for the people who are ready, you're like, I've had enough. I just want to be done with this so I can get on and live my life. It's powerful, and it doesn't have to be the typical wailing and gnashing of teeth. So Kate, anything else you wanted to say on that thing about the timing and the impact, etc.?
Well, here's what I want to say. Over half the people that come to me are saying, now's the time, Kate. I need something big to happen for me. I feel like I'm carrying my weight. Maybe I'm carrying the weight of my family too. I don't know what it is. I'm either cursed. You know what I mean? I'm tired all the time. I'm cursed. I'm ill. There's something going on. And they're saying, but it ends with me. I will no longer let this continue within my family or for my children or going forward. And that's a powerful statement. So I'll just say this. You don't have to continue to carry what you're carrying forever, and it doesn't have to take decades. It can take a short period of time. And what Marilyn and I are, what the protocol is designed to do is it's about a month in total. By the time you meet with me, work with Marilyn, and then we have the workshop, we're talking about a month. That will change your life forever. So that's what I want to say, Marilyn.
Yeah, seriously, it is. So I'm beyond excited, because genuinely, I know many people say, yeah, this is the first. I'm like, I've been working in this field since October 2000. And that's because it was really weird. I started attracting clients who had similar issues to me. So even though they didn't present with abuse and this sort of trauma, it came out when we were talking about the sessions, not all the time, but a lot of the time. And I was a relationship coach for the first 9 years as well. However, when I look at this with the demonic side, removing the attachments and removing the entities and the mindset, the brain, the programming, the neurology, I genuinely, hand on heart, at this point, I'm not saying there isn't somewhere in some corner of the world, but I am not aware of seeing anything that comes at it and covers all of these bases. Have you seen anything out there that is similar to this, Kate?
No. Nope, I have not. I've not seen anyone addressing the demons head on, and I've not seen anyone addressing the mind and how to root out the programming that's been inserted so that the person can get back to their natural mind and what they want to do. I haven't seen the combination used for healing and recovery from any of these things, but to use them together, powerful, really powerful.
I can't wait. So I'm going to say that again. You can go to katesterling.com, look at the training tab, or you can go directly to, it's a longer link, but the bit.ly link is a shortener, just so makes it easier to say, but it's bit.ly, bit.ly/deprogram-heal recover, because that's what we're doing. We're going to help you deprogram all of the old mindsets of things that had been installed on you, placed on you, indoctrinated into you, because if you've been with a narcissist, they're going to wear you down. They're going to tell you that you're worthless. They're going to isolate you most of the time, so you do not have that sense of support. And actually, one of the things, Kate, as I say those words, you're going to do something really special with how to support people and actually give them their own level of protection. Do you want to say a little bit about that and the angels?
Oh yeah, we'll be going through, not only will I show you how to reset your energy body and to look for if there's anything that needs to be sorted out. I'll show you how to sort it out in your body to get it flowing well. But we're also doing an exercise to call in your protectors and to understand who they are. We always have protectors, but if we know who they are, if we know where they sit around our energy field, if we know what their purpose is and what their skills are and how they're here to protect us, then we can use them and call on them when we need them. So we'll be doing an exercise for that as well.
I love it. So if you're watching this and you feel like you've had your sense of self eroded, and you may be kind of towards the other end of the scale where you're just, it's time to be re-empowered, to be who you are, who you could be, to reconnect with the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, and just get out there and live your life without all of the old emotional baggage, please, please, please do get in touch. We would love to work with you. So it's the one-to-one sessions beforehand. So we do need you to book in advance. Don't just wait till a day before, because we ran a workshop on Saturday. There was somebody who booked. We started at the top of the hour, so 4 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. USA EST. It was online. It was the Reclaim Your Home, which was amazing, that Kate was running in terms of teaching people how to identify hexes, curses, portals, etc. on the home, and then teaching people how to remove that. And somebody booked 27 minutes after we started, which is fine. But with this one, we can't really have that happen, because we want to do the one-to-one private sessions online with you beforehand. And it's all happening online, which means you can be anywhere in the world with this taking part. With the one-to-one sessions, of course, you book them to suit. With the online, of course, that will be at a set time, and there will be some recordings to support that. Kate is going to do a guided process for you. I'm going to do a clearing process that you can listen to support you after the main day as well. But yeah, we would love to have you come and work with us. So Kate, any final words?
I would just say this, like, enough's enough, right? If you're done suffering and you want your life back, you want to know who you are, you want to go forward and live what you know you came to do, or you want to reconnect with what you came to do, then this is the workshop for you.
Wonderful. And the t-shirt I wore especially for you all, it says expect the unexpected. One of the things I always say at the end of my one-day breakthrough sessions, I say to clients, and the breakthrough sessions are not necessarily around this, they can be around anything. Sometimes people want to work on public speaking, presentation skills, confidence, self-esteem. Doesn't matter what we're working on. I always say to people, notice what you notice. And I don't tell them what to notice. I just say, notice what you notice. And there's something very interesting happens with the brain, with a part of the brain called the RAS, the reticular activating system. But one of the things I know they're going to notice is the world opening up for them in ways they maybe even hadn't allowed themselves to dream was possible. And with this program and the dynamic powerhouse combination of Kate's work over the last 20 years, my work over the last 25 years, expect the unexpected. This is going to be, it will be, it is. It's already incredible. We both had decades worth of incredible results, and bringing it together, you know, when they say in Gestalt, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, I think this will blow your mind. So expect the unexpected. We look forward to working with you. Kate, thank you again for bringing your skills and expertise to this.
Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate it. Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. We look forward to working with you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you know someone, this might not be for you, but if you know someone who has been suffering with these issues, or that you know that they're carrying the old emotional baggage, that something traumatic happened in the past, then please feel free to share this link with them, point them in the right direction, give them the website, because we want this to reach as many people as possible and to affect that magical ripple effect. So thank you all, and we look forward to working with you. If you know that the time is now, it's the right time for you, and like Kate says, you just want to go for it, get on with it and remove the emotional baggage. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.